Ladies and gentlemen, federal workers and injured federal workers, Riverdale Wellness proudly presents to you the Injured Federal Workers Podcast. Good afternoon, everybody, and how are we today? We are coming to you live from where? The Riverdale Wellness Studios in Bronx, New York City. Again, good afternoon. So, the next episode, this episode, what are we going to be dealing with? Let's focus on me for a minute, people. I want some hits. I want some likes. I want some shares. I want some subscribes. That's what I want. Why? Why do I want them? Because I got to help you guys out. You guys need help. You guys don't know what you're doing. So, how do I get you to subscribe, like, and share? Focus. Pay attention. Let's get this show on the road. And keep giving you more and more information so your coworkers and yourself can learn from it. Okay, here we go. Okay. So, I wrote an ebook. Okay, go to Riverdale Wellness on Facebook. Subscribe to the book, like it, download it, do what you got to do. Okay. In the ebook, I'm basically summarizing everything that's been going on in the podcast. Not just what's going on in the podcast, but how to help yourself out from the beginning to getting your case approved. We're almost there. Let's review. Okay. What do I want to show you? Here we go. Here's my ebook. Okay. Here's the ebook. The nuts and bolts to federal workers' compensation. We talked about a CA1. We talked about a CA2. We will get to a recurrence in a little bit. Okay. What's the difference? Traumatic injury versus occupational disease. Okay. That's the difference. Traumatic injury, one shift. Occupational disease, more than one shift. Okay. I give you a test question to see that you understood it. The information, I'm going to skip over it. You're going to read it and see that you understood it. Now that we spoke about the CA1, CA2, you got to go to the emergency room. What was our go-to line? Stop, get evaluated, get cleared. So you go to the emergency room. Emergency room sends you to a doctor does workers' compensation. Okay? That doctor should fill out a 17 and 20, but they won't be able to do it on the first visit. Why, people? Why? Why? Pay attention to my podcast. I've told you why. You didn't get your case number yet. If you went right away, you didn't get your case number yet. Don't wait for your case number. Okay? You want to be believed. Yeah, you want to be believed. Okay? So go there. The doctor can write it in a note format. Okay? You'll bring a copy of your CA1 to the doctor. You'll have checked off continuation of pay. You've described the injury. Write as much as you can. Don't leave any details out. Make sure you have a witness statement. Why? Because we spoke about the facts of the injury. There are two components to it. What's the first component? Do the facts actually occur? We'll talk about that in a few minutes. Okay? So you've done a CA17, and the doctor will give you a 17 and 20 at some point. Oh, here we go. Fact of injury. Factually, the injury, accident, must have occurred. How do you do that? By having a witness statement. It proves the facts. Medically, get a diagnosis related to the injury or events. Okay? So if you broke your arm, don't have that doctor put down that you have a bloody nose unless it's related. That something fell on your nose and then hit your arm. Okay? Let's not make up stories. Okay? What else should this report have? Dates of exam, description of your symptoms, results of the exams and tests, MRIs. Remember? So let's think about all the things that I've spoken about. We've spoken about step one. Go to the emergency room after you stop what you're doing, filled out a CA1 and a CA16. You went to the emergency room. The emergency room decides either to clear you or send you to somebody else. Now they're sending you somewhere else. You go with all the paperwork that you've gotten so far and bring them to the next doctor. The doctor will write the 5 factors, okay? We just said what the 5 factors are. civil employee, fact of injury, performance of duty, cause relationship, and that you obviously have been filing everything on a timely manner and seeing the doctor in a timely manner. Okay? In the report, it will include dates of exam, treatment, description of your symptoms, results of the tests, giving the official diagnosis, as we said, that was the facts of the injury, course of care, what you're going to be doing. So if the doctor prescribes therapy, go to the therapy session. Stop messing around and skipping appointments. Okay? That's a red flag, people. And then the physician's opinion supported by a medical explanation. Okay? Now, I said this earlier, and I'm going to say it again. Go to a practice that only see the medical doctor and not a nurse or anything else. Because why? Medical evidence must be submitted by a qualified physician. Nurse practitioners and physician assistants are not considered qualified physicians under the FICA. Now, here's the clause, unless. So now, if you want to do the unless part, you can. If you want to risk it, you can. But the whole point of the podcast is not to risk anything unless the medical report is countersigned by a physician. Now, if you don't see the report by the physician, do you know it was signed by the nurse or by the doctor? Don't risk it, people. I give you the information for you to have it. Okay? Now, in 2 episodes from now, we're going to talk about cases getting accepted and denied. Okay? So we're going to stop right here. We're going to go to commercial break. We're going to find out what's next. Now, in the next episode, how do you get the paperwork up? We spoke about it in a previous one, but on the next episode, not today's, on the next episode, we are going to focus on what? We are going to focus on how to upload that document, that report that you got from the medical doctor. And in the last episode, I spoke about that you should read it over before you send it up. Okay? So in 2 episodes from now, we're going to talk about cases getting accepted, what happens. And let's now go to commercial break and see what's next.
When is a reasonable time to expect your paperwork to be completed by your medical doctor? What responsibilities do you take in your paperwork? On the 2nd or 3rd visit with your federal workers' compensation doctor, your certified OWCP doctor will review your findings with you. That is X-rays, MRIs, and other diagnostics tests. The doctor will then write your medical narrative. When you see the doctor and they're writing a narrative report for you, the narrative report will include 1. Did you file timely? So the quicker you get your tests done and give the doctor your case number, the quicker you'll get accepted. 2. Are you a federal employee? 3. What are the facts of the injury? 4. Did it happen during the performance of duties? And the last one, which is so important and crucial to your case getting accepted, it says establish causal relationship, which means the medical evidence establishes that the diagnosed condition is causally related to the injury or event that occurred specifically to you. The narrative will then be written and must be proved by you, the patient. Why? So that you review your medical history that you gave the medical doctor, and you review the doctor's diagnosis, and remember, it's your medical record. And then you send it up as well to the DOL through ecomp.dol.gov. Please call 718-601-1540 to see if we can help you with your medical paperwork and recover from those injuries, as we have 2 decades worth of experience, and check out our Google reviews.
And we are back, everyone. So, this next section of the episode, we're going to talk about the questionnaire. And I think it's very important for us to discuss this questionnaire because it encompasses a lot of things. I've spoken to you many times now, many different times, about the facts of the injury. Okay? The facts of the injury are referring to not the medical component where the doctor puts down a diagnosis, but what we're talking about is the facts of the injury. Did the events occur? Do you have a witness statement? And more importantly, that if the Department of Labor is questioning the events, what they are doing is the following. They are sending you a questionnaire. The questionnaire could be 3 or 4 questions asking if you've ever had this type of injury before, because maybe in the post office or whatever job that you have, someone heard that you got injured before, and they're questioning it. So it's your opportunity to say that it's true or not true. They might ask you, were you holding on to the railing with your right hand or your left hand? They might ask if it's an occupational disease claim or something else. How many times were you doing it? How many pounds are you lifting? And so forth. The purpose of the questionnaire is really to see two parts. One, how serious are you? To look through your paperwork and make sure you answer it so that your case can get accepted. Or, if you're not looking through it, will your case get denied? And more importantly, to get the exact details of the information, right? It's like saying, hey, I hurt my right arm, and then you wrote down your left arm. You fell on your face, you hurt your knee. Well, did you fall on your face or did you hurt your knee? So these questionnaires are very important for you to fill out, respond quickly, promptly, right? Remember we said timely filing and all the things, the 5 factors, timely filing, setting it all up, done properly, timely filing, okay? So I want to discuss just for a second before we go to commercial break, I want to discuss the questionnaire, okay? This is going to be a decision letter that a patient got from the Department of Labor. And I think it's very important just to focus on one part of it for today, and another time we'll do the whole letter and show some inconsistencies and all the rest. I blocked out all the names for the importance of privacy and all the rest. So let's share the decision letter, the first part. Here we go, okay? Decision letter says, the person is employed as a mail handler of the USPS. On May 21st, she filed a claim for traumatic injury, which occurred on March 28th. Oy vey. So you didn't file timely. She stated on 3/20/18 was placing a con container inside a post-con, which had registry parcels inside, which weighed up to 140 pounds full. She was constantly bending and twisting to do this when she felt a pull in her lower back. She identified it as the lower right side of her back. So there's obviously a lot of questions that are going to surround this case. So they're sending you a questionnaire. In a decision dated September 4th, 2018, the office denied the claim for the reason that the evidence was insufficient to establish the factual component of fact of injury element. The reason for this finding was that she failed to respond to the request for additional factual medical evidence. So she didn't do her share. Let's just stop right here. What did we just learn? You're going to get a questionnaire if they're questioning you. So they're already having a red flag up for you. You didn't do your stuff. Now your case, it got denied because you didn't answer the questionnaire. When we come back from commercial break, we're going to hear of someone who had a questionnaire and didn't fill it out, and her case got denied. We'll see you on the other side.
Are you a federal employee that's been injured on the job? This can be a very confusing and difficult time. We can help. Do you know that you have certain rights? Do you know what you need to do in order to receive all your medical benefits? Do you know what questions to ask your doctor to make sure your injury claim will be accepted? Do you know what forms must be filled out and when? Do you know when you should return to work? Has your injury claim already been denied? The federal workers' compensation process can be a very confusing and difficult process if you or your doctor do not know what to do. Thousands of federal workers are injured every year, but not all of them get their full medical care or the federal workers' compensation benefits that they deserve. Don't make their mistake and have your case and your benefits denied. We at Silver Wellness Center are approved federal workers' compensation doctors. We know the DOL process and can help answer your questions. We not only help our patients recover from their injuries by providing excellent one-on-one care, but also work with medical doctors and attorneys to help get your injury claim approved, in addition to all your rights afforded to you by the DOL. Call the Silver Wellness Center today at 410-298-3100 or visit our website at www.drwarrensilver.com and schedule your no-obligation consultation. Silver Wellness Center, meeting your federal workers' compensation needs.